The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
That's my theme song. Why you tripping, yo? Good evening. Welcome to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator, Ferran, aka WDC. I want to thank you for listening in. Well, straight in it, as you know, yesterday was Super Bowl, and so we got a lot of conversation going down for you today to cover those. How do you want to phrase that, yo?
Man, boring.
Whack ass Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 50.
So as you can see, the excitement over here. Yeah. The one Rams fan that, do you a Rams fan too, huh?
I think.
Oh, he's Bears. He's Bears. So one original Rams fan on the deck right now.
It was a lot of rooters yesterday.
It was just disappointing, man.
Not really.
See, I thought, not without getting too much into it, I actually thought 50% of the team put up a good game, which was the defense.
You were on Bears. You don't even
He was on Beers and
50%.
He was on Beers and
no matter how much beer I could drink, that offense just looked terrible. And I was trying to drink my way out of that terrible game.
Go back to Joe Namath. He said, the team that makes the most mistakes loses.
You said that.
And they beat themselves. Other thing he said, young quarterback has to make completions. And you can't throw no interception in the Super Bowl.
No. And you can't go 8 drives with punting it every time without one single the Rams.
No, I said ooh. I said ooh, not who.
That's 8 drives without one field, at least one field goal attempt. That means you can't.
He's
from Switzerland.
Sorry. It was ooh.
But the positive part of it is that there's a lot of money coming to Los Angeles in regards to them being in the Super Bowl. Brings back money to the stadium and things that they're doing. And what other measurement that a football team can compare themselves to by playing the best football team in the league?
Definitely.
You can't hate losing on to the GOATs. The best coach, the best quarterback.
Yeah.
Can't get mad at that.
Shout out to Nelly's Bar and Grill for allowing us to host our Sports Collective radio segment there. So we're going to get into that conversation as well. Coming up next is Sports Log, so we're going to take a 2-minute break, get the deck situated, because my man, 50 Grand Sports Log, is a Patriots fan. So we got Lou Wop in the building. We're going to bring up Lou Wop. You're going to stay.
Yeah.
You're going to stay. You're going to stay and you're going to take this like a champ. And then,
I have a feeling he's got something to say for me.
Yeah. You're going to take it like a champ. So we'll be right back. Sports Collective TV. Here it comes.
Brady jersey coming on.
Okay.
Take us out. We'll be right back. Sports Collective
TV. The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host, moderator, I'm Ferran, aka WDC. Again, make sure you go to social media, Sports Collective Media on Instagram, and make sure you check us out. Go to Ask Ilya on Instagram for the Old School Spring Jam. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to put it up there like that so y'all can just read it for yourself? The Old School Spring Jam right there. Boom. Check that out on Ask Ilya. That's right. Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center, 1935 Manhattan Beach Boulevard, Redondo Beach. Friday, March 8th. 7:30, doors open at 6:45. There he is right there, the man with the 50 plan. Right there. All the music artists, Tone Loc, Candyman, Ready for the World, Coolio.
Yeah, so make sure you go out
and Miss Chalet.
That sounds sick.
Definitely. Go check out AskIlya.com to get all the infos on that.
So, let me see. We got Sports Log is on the line yet? Not yet? No call yet? Oh, he is there. Okay, let's get the headphones situated.
He's there. He was waiting since yesterday.
The headphones situated. You're live on Sports Collective Radio.
The line before we started.
Sports Collective TV. Look, I'm still saying radio from yesterday.
What's the count?
Yo, what's the count, baby?
How sweet it is.
In his cognac and cigars voice. All right.
Enjoy the sticks, fellas.
All right, man. So, you know, you guys won. Congratulations. Whatever, right?
Tough now.
Give us your take on the first quarter through the fourth quarter, man. What's your take on that?
Defense wins championships.
Ooh.
You know, they make a big deal about offense this year and how some of the rules have been changed and geared for that. But I think what you saw, I mean, complete opposite reflection from last year, where it was all offense and it took one defensive play. Well, you had the whole game, 6 points scored up until the final, when the final last out of the game. When the biggest difference is the offensive play. So, two really good defenses going into the game. I thought the Rams probably had the best squad on the field, but after the way the Patriots corners came down, they replaced Chung, who had a really good hit. I think he took out Cooks at the baseline.
That was a big loss. That was a big loss.
Yep.
Yeah, just great stops. There was some really great stops. Anybody who said that game wasn't fun to watch, I think that you weren't a fan.
You in the camera, yo. You all too close.
Yeah. You're watching from somewhere else. Concentrating on the commercials. Some people were, a lot of women were swaying after the halftime show, I guess.
Right.
Levine got a big deal for taking his shirt off. But hey, it's the Super Bowl, man.
Man.
Anything goes.
Now it was. Oh no, go ahead, Sportslog.
Well, no, I was just going to say that's not the worst wardrobe malfunction in the halftime show.
Right.
We already know that.
Some worse happens.
As far as the game, I think either team had a chance to win at the end, and a couple big plays right there late. Goff getting hit a lot. He looked dazed on that Van Noy close. 10 yards and just took him down. And people would just wonder who's going to step up for the pass. Everybody thought blowout. I said no. The Rams are close in the third, man.
Well, hey, Sportslog, what was the count that you predicted last week, man? Did you have an idea what those numbers were going to line up to be?
Yeah, I jumped on the overboard there too.
Everyone did.
I don't think one person. Well, anybody who picked the under was thinking ahead, thinking defenses might have stepped up. But with those, that was the two highest powered offenses for the AFC and NFC were defeated in the last 2 weeks. So, shut them down to 3 points. Both teams were scoreless in the half in the title game. And
I know.
It's just, I mean, you know, there was problems with the defense all year, but I mean, you've never seen the way the team runs. They concentrate on the end. You know, a couple of hiccups there with Pittsburgh and Miami. They did things right, I guess. But that was a great game. They made Brady very pedestrian. Really good pass rush. I think they double teamed Donald for the most part. But yeah, Littleton was.
Did he get sacked yesterday?
Really
Let's see if they got.
Did Brady get sacked yesterday? So he finally got sacked. Once.
Yeah. But Hightower had 2 drops on Goff that just.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that was a huge difference right there. Just the pressure.
Yeah.
All right, Sports Log. Hold on, Sports Log. We got another partner of yours here in his jersey.
Jersey.
Come on, man. I know you've been quiet.
The Brady jersey from
you've been quiet since you walked in the building, man. Lou Wop, what you got, man?
The greatest comeback of all time. I had to rock it, and you know it's crazy because the last 2 Super Bowls, Brady has given us like these otherworldly, like godly statistical performances, and he starts off the Super Bowl by getting intercepted, and I remember watching it in a room full of Rams fans. They were all thinking it was
a wrap.
That was a wrap right there, like you know, like, and it's like chill, calm down. It's Brady,
but that was the first sign that it was not going to be a normal Super Bowl. The fact that Brady throws a pick on his first drive,
it was deflected anyway.
It was deflected, yeah.
It was deflected.
But even then, it's a game of inches, and those deflections have won and lost games.
What was more
absolutely.
That's probably the best moment for Rams fans.
Let him finish. Go ahead. You get your chance, Rams fans.
After that, then you have this sluggish game where I think they go like 10 possessions in a row punting, and it just turns out the difference being Brady versus Goff. Really, at that fourth quarter, those last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, it came down to, all right, who's going to step up and win the game for him? And Brady had those huge plays to Gronk. Edelman. What can be said about Edelman?
That's when they start picking him apart.
Edelman played against Sean McVay.
That's how they start picking him apart.
And he beat him for he was the most important. I mean, no doubt, Julian Edelman was MVP.
X Factor,
you know,
no doubt.
Huge. And they all knew that he's going to go to Edelman. He's going to go to Edelman, but they just couldn't stop it.
Right.
It's just that Brady to Edelman connection is just otherworldly.
Yeah, it's working.
It's otherworldly.
That chemistry with them is seamless.
That's all he needed. Because in a game where nothing seemed to be working and both defenses played great, it was Brady who stepped up and did enough to put his team in position to get that touchdown that proved vital, you know, in the end. So, I mean, to me, it was even though it wasn't
exciting.
It wasn't like statistical masterpiece by Tom Brady. He's given those and he's lost. I mean, he had the greatest performance any quarterback has had last year, and he lost it. And he lost it this year. He didn't have those statistics, but you know what? It was equally as great because when they needed him in the fourth quarter to step up. Him, Gronk, even Gronk, man. I loved Gronk coming up huge in that 27-yard catch to put him in position for that Sony Michel touchdown. That was like, if that's the last memory that we have of Gronk in a Patriots jersey. Well, then
do you think he's done?
I think so. I think he should like, you know, he's taken a beating. This year he wasn't really an offensive weapon. He was more utilized to establish the run. So he took a huge physical toll as being almost like a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
But they also didn't put him at risk because remember, it's those big plays that would get him injured years past. So even though he was taking more toll, he was safely taking a toll as a blocker. Yeah. And then you saw in the playoffs they started to release him. I remember we were talking about this, that he's been kind of fresh. You know, he hasn't been running routes, going for long passes, and in the playoffs you just saw him making.
He made big plays. Yep.
So what about your quarterback? Is he coming back?
Yeah, definitely. I want to see him come back.
Why can't he just retire?
I'm going to speak this into existence. I want to see him come back. I want to see him win one. I want to see Tom Brady win one in the new Inglewood Stadium in 3 years. I want to see him do it. I want to
3 years, really?
3 years. Hold
on. Sports Log, is he coming back or is he gone, man?
He's coming back.
Brady's coming back.
Yeah, without
0% chance. You don't retire like that.
Not like that.
He played really. I mean, he played. You know, he had a pedestrian game, but he plays when he had to. He had a pretty good year. He hasn't really fallen off. I don't see why. Gronk, if there's only way we could get him a 4-game suspension or something. He just needs to shorten the season, or you know.
All right, Sports Log, man. So let's turn the tables real quick, man, so we can have the Rams fans give them some emotional support. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I mean, tough game
Look at his face. Look at his face, though.
Yesterday.
Well, I mean, go ahead. I'll chime in right now.
Best play of the game for Rams fans probably was that interception that started out early. That had pretty much the whole bar really excited as well.
Yeah.
Not much happened after that. I felt like the Rams defense did step up and play good football. They held Brady to 1 touchdown in the whole game. It's not like they needed much more, but they, for the most part, did their job. The surprise was really how the offense couldn't get anything going. And it was really just, at some point, it was just brutal to watch because you already knew on first down.
Cali Sportsman made the announcement earlier, man. You got to make those completions.
First down. It was just, they couldn't get anything, and this really falls on the offense, this loss, and probably Jared Goff.
What you got, man?
I think Brady proved it yesterday that probably this next to a running back, I feel that the position that should be paid more, aside from a quarterback, is a slot receiver. Because Edelman showed that he's not just a receiver. These guys were like sharing a brain, sharing a heartbeat. Like they knew where the holes were at, like in the blitzes, right? So they knew where to be. He adjusted. So it's like he's like adjusting as you see that him finding the holes. And so it's like even though they didn't really have anyone else but him producing, he was making the big plays. And I don't know, like I saw this coming. Like I saw they were going to go up the middle, they're going to run the ball, right? And it just I don't know.
They played the run really well.
As a fan.
Sports Log, let me ask you, because the halftime score was quite a head scratcher, being just 3-3. What were you thinking about that point of how your Patriots were doing then?
It's 3-0 actually, and I won a square off of that. So I was thinking it was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Unbelievable, but I mean, defense set the tone. I mean, you look at Wade Phillips. He dialed up some great defense. Josh McDaniels, handled a little bit. Missed field goal would have been 6-0. So and the late missed field goal from Greg DeLay. I think. In an LA perspective, I can understand. That interception was the play of the game, but I mean, they just kept happening plays both sides of the defense. Like I said, Josh McDaniels, but you also had McVay going against help the team. So he just it's Goff in his first Super Bowl. I mean, he'll probably get back.
Yeah, probably.
Another thing too.
He went against a guy that had a bit of a chip on his shoulder, which I think I might have said it before. Belichick Institute. He kind of built that.
Yeah.
And he constructed a team that, needed to go into the Super Bowl an underdog, even though it's like only 15 minutes for money put aside. But you have something, I don't know. The guy, he didn't want to be denied, I guess, last year with the awful taste in his mouth.
All right, hold on. Hold on, Sports Log.
Play too, the Philly.
We got his Rams comment, Sports Log. Hold on.
But the biggest thing I think the Rams will take from this is really developing their interior offense. Cooper Kupp, someone that got injured early in the season, I feel like yesterday, that's a game he would have shined on as their slot receiver, and also developing their tight ends. Because once again, there's two ways to slow the rush. One is good blocking. Another one is those receivers from the interior. And so you saw that with Gronk and with Edelman, right? And so once again, Brady is a master at that. He knows how to slow down the rush one way or another. And so I feel Jared Goff's going to take a lot from that. He's going to only grow from here.
As a fan, would you have coached that different?
I don't think Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry. I don't think Cooper Kupp really would have made that big a difference because it wasn't like there wasn't any players making plays on the Rams end. It was that Goff had pressure constantly. He couldn't find anybody.
Well, once again,
I feel like that offensive line just couldn't stand to save anything really.
I mean, this wasn't. We know Bill Belichick is like a defensive-minded coach, so you knew that statistically this wasn't a defense. We talked about it when you took the Rams defense and you took the Patriots defense roster side by side. Yeah, you have Gilmore, who's like the one shining bright spot on the Patriots side, but it looked like the Rams were the way better defense, like as far as on paper. And then for the Patriots to show up and have Bill Belichick had them that ready, for a grimy just
coach them through it.
Yeah, and
I don't expect anything less from Belichick.
He says, "Look, I understand you guys are all like the NFL's all up in arms about this wonder kid who's 33 years old, But I'm still the hoodie, I still got the magic under the hood, and he out-coached McVay. McVay did not bring out any trick plays. He couldn't.
Somebody was waiting for the old trick play.
I mean, I think we all
wanted that, but then they got a flag and brought the ball back 5 yards on that one play that would have made sense.
Both sides were ready for trick plays. I think nothing was.
It was a chess match.
Yeah,
and chess masters. Come on.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why it was such a low-scoring game because both teams were trying to force the other team to not do what they want to do, and even though they were trying to do it, like they were prepared for it.
Right.
And it just at the end, it just fell down to the fourth quarter. Clutch players are going to make plays, and
I can't believe you're saying Cooper Kupp, but you didn't even mention Todd Gurley.
Well, Todd Gurley was there.
Okay, but why that is the biggest absence. Todd Gurley was there, right?
Yeah,
I didn't see it. Where?
When did he rush the ball?
That's what I'm saying. He was there.
That's
he
what
wasn't
I'm saying.
effective.
That's what I'm saying. What's up with that? Like,
But you had just mentioned that he couldn't find anyone open. But going back to the value of a slot receiver, once again, if you have a great slot receiver, he picks up the defense.
you need to establish the run, and you have one of the highest
no
paid.
run
Let
established.
me ask you this:
way,
one of the
'cause I
highest
don't-
paid running backs in the league, and you don't have an injury designation or anything like that.
What you got, man?
I mean, I don't think it necessarily had to fall in the run game. Yeah, if Gurley would have had a better rushing game, that would have maybe made things easier. But it was really, they couldn't get the passing game going. Goff couldn't connect anything. But really, do you think this falls more on Sean McVay as a coaching job, or on Jared Goff not being able to?
That's what I'm
complete
trying to
any
find out. The
passes,
coaching
or-
is in the coaching issues.
You think it's the coach?
I'm
coach's fault on
just
this one?
wondering. I mean, would you guys coach that game that way, or would you?
I mean,
play
I
more of a
I
risk.
think you have to look at your quarterback a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think people were expecting McVay to kind of go toe to toe with Belichick, but it seemed like he was very cautious,
Yeah.
in his playmaking, and it's like you're not going to beat Belichick in the Super Bowl by being cautious.
Yeah, I didn't see any really bombs or anything like that.
The ones who end up beating Belichick, let's be honest, were
Very
Peyton,
gutsy.
were like Peyton Manning in the greatest season of his career,
Yeah.
and then you had Eli Manning, and you had a defense that kind of threw Brady off, and a couple of miraculous plays, but that's it. You got to come well prepared.
But
to
it all
game plan.
it all
all-
starts with the running game. Once again, if that running game isn't established, they can't.
Then you
set
gotta go for
play
the pass.
action. They
Yeah,
can't
you-
do deep
Okay,
passes.
so who's the running game? Isn't it supposed to be Todd Gurley?
It
Where was Todd Gurley?
Once again,
He's got no words for it.
I mean, he wasn't 100%,
mentioning
but he-
poor Cooper Kupp like
but-
on the
but
sidelines.
But maybe
barely.
that's where maybe you could blame the coaching staff that they didn't prepare like new packages, like different kind
Right.
of running schemes
in
for this game.
in case it didn't work.
Because if they were running the same thing they were running all year, Belichick was going to come in prepared and he was
Right.
going to fill those holes. So once again, maybe it's
Yeah,
not.
those holes were filled.
No
every
deep
play.
passes, nothing like that, man.
Man,
From the Rams,
you just
I was
saw
looking for
barely
some
attempted.
bombs.
In a season where the Chiefs and the Rams gave us like a 53-50 shootout.
Right, where
the
was that
Super
at?
Bowl was 13-3.
Where was that at?
Well, once again, great coaches, they just ready for it.
That's coaching. That's Andy Reid is going to go toe to toe with McVay and be like, you know what? Let's just shoot it out. That's Andy Reid. Belichick's like the opposite. Belichick's like, nah, hold your horses. You think we're going to have a shootout, even though I
Yeah.
have Brady? Nah. Calm down, kid.
All
right.
You're going to have to win this.
Set the tone.
You're going to set the tone.
Exactly.
Exactly. He said,
Hey,
and this is the tone.
That's
Sports
why-
log.
That's special teams. I think the special teams kind of show that they were one of the stronger units too. I mean, a couple of down parts. I mean, just to force both teams into punting. Really, both teams showed it.
All right,
The
man.
secondary. I think the one weakness in the LA Rams is maybe their secondary, second level. So
Oh, yeah, who was your- Who's your MVP?
Obviously, Edelman. I mean, as I
Well
mentioned
deserved.
earlier,
Absolutely.
that was that
He
connection
should've
between
gotten
Edelman and Brady. And kind of the one thing that's kind of like, and I found interesting. I mentioned this on earlier on another talk show, was that Edelman, and in the NFL, it's true. Edelman was suspended for 4 games for taking steroids. And we forget about that.
Performance-enhancing drugs, and they didn't tell him what it was for 4 weeks.
But I'm being real. Like athletes know athletes know what they're putting into their body, and if you're an elite level athlete, you know what you're putting in. But it's just what I'm getting at is just kind of like the culture of in football. It's kind of okay. Like we kind of accept it that these guys are taking a physical beating. That they're taking things that are going to need to push them over the top, and we're okay with that because we love the hits. We love the guys getting up. You look at Edelman; he was a quarterback in college, and then he's like now this like mini Megatron they used to call him because he's like so swole and like
People forgive their favorite athletes, man. That's just point blank.
minus baseball. Baseball's the only sport where you can't take steroids. Like if people, you get one positive test, and people will always remember it. And Edelman now, he's at Disney World right now.
Hey.
With Brady, I love it.
Exactly.
After starting off the year that way.
After starting off the year the way that he did, yeah.
All right, Sports Log, man. We appreciate your time, man, for calling in all the way from Boston, man.
It was a pleasure this week, my friend.
You going
See you guys.
Hey, so-
maybe you guys will get this.
You going to the parade?
Yeah, I've seen the parade. Actually, I'm probably working later on. It might be fun, going to work for that.
Hey, Sports
I like to
Log.
watch it. I like to watch it from home in a nice perspective and not go to jail.
Right.
Hey, Sports Log, the way the sports world is going, it looks like in the NBA, it's going to be the Lakers and Boston in the finals, and we're going to lose to Boston.
Another Boston loss.
Boston lost to LA. We lost with the Dodgers. We lost with the Rams.
No, I saw a sign outside of Boston. Like, this is one of the reasons people hate Boston is because in Boston they had a sign that said, "Boston, we've gone 97 days without a championship." Like, are you serious? Like 97 whole days, and now it's going to be like we've gone one day without a championship.
Back-to-back world champions. You don't get it a lot, and I don't know what
no doubt
happens there.
All right,
to keep the magic going as long as it can.
All right, Sports Log, man. I'll see you online, man. Thank you for your time, man.
All right, you too. I'll tell you guys soon.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring it back. We're going to get some more sports talk. We're going to talk about our live broadcast at Melody's Bar and Grill yesterday, get that conversation going, and then we'll be back from some more sports talk right here on Sports Collective Radio and Sports Collective TV. Shout us out.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I keep wanting to say radio, man, because we said radio so much
radio
yesterday.
So. Media, radio.
We got it all covered.
All in all.
Yeah, baby,
let's start out with you, Cali Sportsman, man. What was yesterday's experience like for you?
First of all, I just want to give a shout out to Morris Media Studios, having this network that we can kind of be that megaphone in sports at a location. So shouts out again to Melody's Bar and Grill, LAX. Food was great. I mean, the fact that they even had a special menu, barbecue.
Was great.
Really good. Food is great. I mean, the place is a great place, great staff. Shouts out to Christian for letting us come out and helping us kind of build that relationship. But, it was a good atmosphere. It was kind of an even take in regards to, I think people were slightly bored, but there was a few Rams fans in there that was just still eager to see more football.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in the game.
Male and females. We had a female on the broadcast with us.
There were a couple of female fans at the bar.
She was going hard after you, too.
Yeah. She was in my face with the first downs and all of that.
What's that? What was her name? Alabama?
Yeah, Alabama.
Michael Vick.
She with the Mike Vick jersey on.
Yeah.
You had the food. How was the ribs, man?
Man, I mean, they had a whole barbecue menu with chicken and brisket and ribs and everything.
Stuff all on the face.
I had ribs, yeah. WDC had to call me out to get all the barbecue sauce off my face because it was pretty good. Yeah, they had ribs. They had really good, like, homemade biscuits and broccoli and mac and cheese and everything. So, yeah, we ate pretty well there. The food was really good. They had the pregame barbecue before the game started. It's too bad it was raining that hard. That would have definitely changed the atmosphere a little bit outside. But the Melodies, they did a great job of providing a nice atmosphere and good food. And it was so nice. My boy Mike had to order the plate twice. So,
what'd you have? You had some.
I had the bourbon burger and some.
Yeah, you was bragging about the bourbon burger.
I don't know what this guy's talking about. It was mild for sure, but all the food was good. The service was good. Mm-hmm. The highlights. It was the highlight of the night. The game wasn't, but it got me through that game. And then Fredo about to get laid hands on by the security guard. That was another highlight.
Oh, coming back in?
No, the security guard, the Rams fan.
Oh, that dude. Oh, yeah.
If Fredo said one more thing, he was going to lay hands on that
because Fredo was not telling the truth.
Fredo was not telling the truth last night. No,
he called out Fredo's every misquote.
Love it.
Yeah,
every miss.
because Fredo said Brady hadn't got sacked yet, even though he got sacked and stuff like that.
4 misquotes.
He was keeping tally. We tried to get him on the mic.
He kept telling me like, "Hey man,
away.
tell him that didn't happen. You got to check the stats." I'm like, "All right."
There's still 4.5 minutes. We're good. We got time.
That was cool, man.
The place was ready to jump off though if the Rams would have played a better game. I felt like. It was only because the game ended out the way it did that the atmosphere just started to.
But you got to also look at this is Los Angeles Super Bowl Sunday. And when it rains here, people just heard all about all the parties that were out there. People were just like, nah,
I'm just staying home.
Everybody was just depressed.
Order a pizza
going into
or something
it,
like
let
that.
alone
Absolutely.
The weather played a factor on
you know what?
the mood.
Let's just talk about this for a second because you adopted them and you just got here. So
really?
Why you gotta look at me? It's Rams from LA.
It wasn't sexy enough.
Well, I guess definitely not. Definitely not sexy enough. You got to work on that.
So we learned yesterday from one of the fanatics that he just jumped on board like a year ago. Had draws, socks, hat, everything Rams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
of course.
I'm just looking at it. I mean, I had my Raider hat on yesterday. You had your Pittsburgh hat on.
Yeah.
And he just had his P4 hat on.
Yeah.
So
P4E, don't leave stuff off.
P4E, man.
P4E. But that's what I'm saying. It was just it seemed like people just kind of adopted the teams. They was going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, you out there with a Rams hat on all the time. So
true.
what's the sentiment out there? That's what I think.
It's 20 years without a squad.
I seen something on social media said, when you go to a Super Bowl game, do you wear your jersey or a hat of your team? Or do you wear the team?
Rep your squad.
You rep yours.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I've always enjoyed watching football, but I grew up in Switzerland, so I never really had a relationship with a certain hometown or something, and much less a team really to go for. Same as the NBA, so I'd always be more follow players and favorite players. But now that I'm living in LA, and if it's between the Chargers and the Rams, I think that's an easy easy answer there to go with the Rams. So.
And old boy is on our sports. He's on our Instagram too.
For the Super Bowl,
the cat that you talking
about.
Got
so many people.
Yeah, he's on our Instagram.
On the
Can't say your
bandwagon.
name right, homie, but boom, yeah.
I got all his footage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and just have to get rid of all of this.
He's like, I couldn't find my T-shirt, but I got everything else. My drawers, my socks, everything ran. I'm going to go home and cry.
Even the keychain necklace.
Yeah, he was down.
He was mad. He just took off work and lost that money.
Wait. He said he gonna put his Ram gear all on Let Go.
He's like, I missed work for this.
He said, I'm gonna put it on Let Go.
You were reliving your Steeler glory days though with that.
That was a throwback.
Super Bowl
2009,
Super Bowl shirt.
Exactly.
But from a statistical
10-year challenge.
That's right.
Standpoint. I mean, when you listen to all the commentary. And there is a Ram and a Brady in the audience right now. Mm-hmm. The sentiment is the same. They've watched these teams play so much. They knew exactly what was going to happen. Because they did give respect to the fact that the DBs can cover on the Rams, right? And they was giving Donald that, the D-line, right? But they said all they're going to do is run the ball. Run the ball. And that offensive line, that's all they did is ran the ball.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't need to do anything spectacular. The Patriots stuck to the plays that they've been doing throughout the season, throughout the postseason. Those conservative, easy throws that are really hard to defend and just get you those.
Come on, Bears fan.
Well, and Belichick just starting with the defense, he ran a zone that he didn't run all season long. He saved it just for the Super Bowl, and that threw Goff off. And then he started running stunts, which throws off the more timing. So all those short passes and stuff that Robert Woods was just out the door because Goff was thrown for a loop.
Yeah,
and that's where McVay struggled because he didn't adapt and get Goff prepared for a possible zone. And then on the offense, we missed 2 touchdowns. Goff missed 2 touchdowns wide open. It could have changed the whole game. Instead of hey, Belichick.
He had it in his hands. Yeah.
As the defense, he threw the ball late twice.
And it was a missed field goal.
And the missed field goal there. They just played horrible. But one thing that definitely stood out a little bit is the referees have been paying attention to the media for the past 2 weeks. Since that Saints game, we're like, okay, we are not calling any.
Don't leave the game close enough for the refs to make the bad play.
But there were definitely 2-3 plays where I thought, okay, maybe throw a flag.
As a basketball coach, right?
Yes, sir.
So is it fair to say, and just not take anything away from Brady and the Patriots, but is that just karma? That's just the way the ball bounces?
It's just how it works.
They're only a city over from Atlanta.
Oh, man.
They probably say people.
At least that's how the Fanatic felt yesterday. He was like, man,
because they cheated.
This is karma.
That's how it happens sometimes.
Man.
You never know.
They were definitely hesitant on throwing the flag on those pass interference calls. They were... We're not going to do it unless it was
that's a bit ticky. Those were all ticky-tack, though. You got to let that stuff go.
Yeah, that's true. It is a Super Bowl. But
that's what we were talking about yesterday.
You let it go on the line, you let it go on the receivers.
Yeah.
Let's play.
So y'all done? We're going to take a quick...
Team America wins again, I guess.
All right, so let's take a quick break. We got some NBA talk real quick, and then we got a guest coming up.
Hey, we're going to blame Drake for the loss. By the way, blame Canada.
He did have a Rams jacket on, too.
Why has he got to go jinx us?
That's what he do.
It's bring that Raptors curse over.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Right. Sports Collective TV right here on Morris Media Live. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold, man.
I hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn, are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I didn't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
All right, so welcome back to Sports Collective TV. We are here live at Morris Media Studios, straight from Leimert Park, Crenshaw District. So we had a couple big moves. Oh, yes, Old School Spring Jam. Don't forget about that. Mm-hmm. You want to be there, right?
Coolio, Tone Loc, Candyman, Michelle A.
March 8th.
Everybody from back in the day.
7:30, right. Doors open at 6:45.
It's the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center, Friday, March 8th.
Get your information.
Go to AskElliot.com.
Yep, AskElliot.com to get that information. Mm-hmm. So, NBA, there's been a couple of things happening since in the last week. The biggest one is the Unicorns on the move. Mm-hmm. The Unicorns on the move. And it's funny how it panned out because rumors was that they had a meeting with Porzingis and he came out and voiced some of his opinions on the organization. And literally an hour after, he was already being shipped to Dallas.
Well, he straight out said, "I don't want to play for the Knicks." So, and they did. The Knicks got a good trade out of it. saved up a ton of cash. They're going to be going hard after Kyrie and KD in the offseason. So,
but remember, this is all pending if they get a star.
So explain that, because Porzingis was going to be a unrestricted free agent if he declined the extension that the Knicks would have offered him this offseason.
In one more year. One more year.
In one more year.
Next year, yeah.
They would have signed a qualifying offer, which would have cost them 25, 30 mil.
So the Knicks just felt the Heat like, okay, we got to get something for him as long as his value's still high.
And they got that goose egg with KD and Kyrie out here. Like, do we stick with Unicorn and possible build off on a dude that gets hurt, or
find
go after
someone
KD
else
and Kyrie and team them up?
You think they're going to be able to fill that void, or because that's a good player to give up just for cap
honestly,
space,
they have 2 max contracts. They could end up with Zion Williamson, number 1 pick. If you put all 3 of those with Knox,
would they position themselves for that?
Hey, they're in the top 3. They're in the bottom 3, I guess.
Yeah, right. Top 3 of the bottom 3,
and they're going to be even worse making this trade. So and they picked up Dennis Smith, who
could potentially be. Definitely he could.
But so far, basically, they picked up Dennis Smith, a couple expiring contracts, some draft picks, and pretty much making this move for the summer.
Now here's
just like the Lakers did, preparing for LeBron.
The Knicks had originally passed up on Dennis Smith Jr. and picking Frank Ntilikina.
Right.
They could have already had him.
They could have already had him, which is why this was kind of funny.
And obviously,
cost Phil Jackson his job.
Exactly.
One of the reasons, pretty much. Besides signing Carmelo. Fredo.
So, I mean, fans in New York have to be devastated about that to some degree, because if they do not sign this big name free agent this summer, they have to feel robbed to some degree about
so
this.
far, everything on media is the Knicks are excited. Because the dude didn't want to play for him.
Right.
So they got rid of him, and they turned him into something and possible. The minimum they're going to get 1. It may not, if it's not Kyrie, it'd be Kyrie, it could be KD, it could be, they're freeing up, or the next year, which is going to be even bigger.
Like you said.
2020 is going to be even bigger.
They're probably waiting.
But in the last 20 years, New York really hasn't gotten any big free agents. I think the last one they had was Amari, right?
Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah.
But their problem is they traded the whole farm for Carmelo.
Instead of waiting for him to sign in the offseason.
They could have waited a year and waited half a year.
And
got him and kept everybody, and they would have been a playoff.
Sounds like a PlayStation trade, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But on the Mavs side, the Mavs are going to be looking good because they got Doncic and the Unicorn.
They're Team Europe now, right? Yeah. With Doncic, Nowitzki, and Porzingis.
Well, they're the Nash Nowitzki 2.0, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's basically what they're trying to create. And they were saying it's funny, even though the Mavs owner came out and said that Porzingis is probably not going to play this year, I feel like his idol is right there at the end of the bench. And it's how are you not going to allow this guy, who you say you're going to build on, to let him give him the opportunity to at least step on the same floor as probably the greatest Mavericks to ever step on the floor, And once again, I get it. You're looking to take care of him, but once again, you could give him a couple games at the end of the year just to establish something.
You don't know how much they're going to be doing in practice,
right?
So they're going to be putting them to on travel, traveling to the games. They're going to be talking, and I think that'll be
sure
enough. You don't want to risk any injury.
Mentorship.
That's true,
and he may stay on as coach. You never know.
Oh, that's true.
Plus, it's entertainment anyway.
So. That's like his little brother,
right? No, they've been tied together for since he got the franchise. So.
Absolutely, one of the few loyal relationships left in the NBA.
Let's talk about the real team. I'm not talking about the Pistons. I'm talking about the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Potential trade for the unibrow. Mm-hmm. The Lakers just upped the offer, sending 25 players to the Pelicans.
Everyone but LeBron.
Pretty much Bron and Hart.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's getting closer to a deal. The Pelicans are actually thinking about it rather than just saying no. So it's going to be interesting the next,
couple of days.
Until Thursday. Thursday's the cutoff, I think.
Yeah, Thursday's the deadline. Yeah.
So I watched one of our old Instagram sports shows that we were talking about who would be traded, and we all said, our players. That's looked like it could be happening soon, man.
Yeah. It's going to be.
I thought we were joking. I thought we were joking back then, though.
Lonzo, Ingram, Kuzma.
Pretty much their whole young part.
But they're going to keep Hart. At least they're going to keep Hart and Zubac. There's at least 2 of the guys, and a couple draft picks, and Beasley's going to be gone.
Why would you do that?
Well, I mean, the Lakers know if they have to, they're going to trade whatever they need to besides LeBron James. They're just trying to save whatever young talent they can still kind of.
But why not keep the young talent though?
What are you doing with the young talent
day by day?
They're not doing anything with them.
You've got 4 years.
You've got LeBron to put some veterans to groom them, man.
But they need the win now. So you trade.
That's your problem. What about developing? What about building that chemistry?
But you can't.
I mean, there's no time.
You can't do both.
They're on the clock.
Yeah.
You know, someone was like, if you have, like, say, AD was a star. He's 27. You could build. You could grow.
Players,
but if you have LeBron as a star at 36,
hey, he's got 3 more years.
You know,
summer.
You never know. And he had his first major injury, so you got to win now. You put him and AD. I don't care who you throw with. People are going to come.
Absolutely.
And you could compete. You're not going to beat the Warriors with those young crews.
I thought y'all was all ball fans.
But the thing is,
ain't nobody a ball. Oh, well, that would not be a ball.
We're all winners here. We want to win. We want the Lakers to win.
In the NBA, whenever you can get that big superstar, even if it costs you good role players, good young players, you got to do it.
You need at least 2 stars to win a championship.
What's his longevity, though?
Young talent
What's
is
his
always
longevity?
replaceable. And Anthony Davis, he's not going to come around that quick
He's
anymore.
got 8 to 10 years.
And also, if you get rid of some of these role players, at the end of the day, what do you really need in a LeBron James offense? You need to hit the corner 3. You need to hit threes. So once again, I'm pretty sure we're going to get Jermaine Jones out to the Lakers.
Wow.
All his guys going to come back to pull up these rosters.
And there's a possible still where we could work out money-wise to get a 3rd star.
So still have room.
And maybe Clay. Just saying.
What?
Maybe
Now
Clay.
you reaching.
Kyrie wants to come.
Hey, Clay or
reach
Kyrie.
out and say,
So you're gonna build up the squad. So when LeBron's done, you still got
2 guys,
key players.
And also, after the trades, there's going to be a lot of buyouts, too. So there's going to be a lot of players out there that are going to be available. So even though we do trade half our team, we could end up having, like what Elliot likes to say, what is it called? Patch up.
Cut and paste.
Cut and paste.
Yeah,
but you're going to have 2 out of the top 5 best players in the world.
You can't pass up having 2 of the top 5.
Yeah.
So let me ask: if you coached at that, even in your league, do you see that in your league where you know what, I'll get these players over here and just build so we can win now? Well, I mean, what happened to the old school? Like
the most talented team usually don't win. It's the team that plays together and the veterans.
Yeah, chemistry.
And you put LeBron, 2 guys that could really play together, they'll beat 5 guys that just play ball. They could run pick and roll. Like who are you going to double team? You double team. You're going to either double team Bron, you're going to double team AD.
I
You
just
can't double
see that
team both.
differently, man. I see build.
No, he called it right.
I see
with his
build,
point earlier,
keeping
where it's like,
build.
You can't have a
But
rebuild
LeBron didn't
and
come
a
here
win
to
now
build. He
team
didn't come
at
here
the
to
same
build.
time. You have to
Signing
make that
LeBron
decision.
changed everything.
Yeah.
You can't be building when you have LeBron.
Yep.
You're
Absolutely.
going to waste them.
You got to play win now.
And these young players had their chance halfway through the season to show something, to show LeBron that he can
Some
win
of
with
them
this
have been
team.
there for 1 or 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. 1 or 2 years, and you're gonna let them go already?
Of
Come
course.
on.
That's why the Pistons have been down as long
That's
as
why
they've
it's
been.
entertainment and it's business.
It's business.
All
At the end
day.
of the day, people want to win, and in a market like
LA, you have to win.
Yep.
But you can't.
Because of the fanatics of LA. That's why.
Magic can't go and tell LeBron, hey, man, we probably can't win this year, the year after, or the next one, but we want to develop Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball, and maybe they'll be good 6 years down the line.
But
That's not what's happening.
If you could say
win now.
a couple years ago, you would flip Ball, Kuzma, and Ingram into AD, you would in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna.
Why would you not do it now?
You most likely would in 3 or 4 years, too.
And not to knock on Kuzma.
That's a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
We're talking to a
Davis.
Piston fan, though. So
Yeah.
he's struggling.
Yeah, and we played together for years, man.
But I'm saying you're gonna find Kuzma's.
We beat the Lakers.
55 years ago.
You're not going to find another AD out there, at least not in this generation. And that's why you're going to find Kuzma's, you're going to find Balls, you're going to find
They're all
Ingram's.
replaceable,
right?
for sure.
But
Cali
AD
Sportsman said it calls
You
it
have
best.
to hit it.
Y'all
when
cut
you
and
get a
paste
player like
basketball,
that, you
man.
gotta
What it
cash
is,
in.
you gotta
Pull
do
the
it now.
trigger.
Your cut and paste
That's what we
basketball.
do.
Pull the
is
trigger.
Killing it for
And
some
that's
of
why
us.
the Lakers are playing a little bit of a dangerous game because they're trying to save some of their young talent. Boston has way more to offer in the summer, and they let the Pelicans know it. So the Lakers really have to offer them something pretty
playing
good
it safe
for
and saving
them
the
to
young people
that.
saved. Costas George, Costas Kawhi.
So you counting out the Warriors if all this happens?
No, you still need another guy. You need to put somebody with AD and Bron.
Right.
But you at least can compete. Right now, you ain't competing. You may beat everybody else but the Warriors.
Hey, LeBron, AD, and Lance Stevenson are way better than all of the young talent.
And I'm telling you,
and
a huge factor is these buyouts, because there's a lot of players that are going to get bought out, good quality players. I heard that there's rumors that, let's say, for instance, DeAndre Jordan might get bought out by the Knicks. So there's a lot of quality players that are going to hit the market after this deadline, right?
And
Jabari Parker might get bought out by the Bulls. So there's going to be
it's entertainment. I give you that. All right, we got one more.
You're not going to find AD out there in the market. Nope.
We got one more segment coming up.
And the brow.
This is Sports Collective TV, or your host and moderator. Last segment coming up, so don't go nowhere. Be right back.
The royal brow.
Wow.
Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your healthcare. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator, Ferran, AKWDC. Again, thank you for listening so far. Again, great weekend at Melody's Bar and Grill, our live broadcast. It's up on our platform too, Sports Collective Radio on Spreaker.com. We broke it up into 2 segments, so you can go back and listen to that, see how much fun we had. We're talking about going a couple of hours, 2 hours in April. So I'm in the backgrounds now building up a 2-hour show we're going to put together for April. So one of the segments, shout out to Fredo. We talked about having music, sports, talk, fashion, all these different categories, conversations. So my tattoo guy, shout out to Frank, introduced me to DJ Luss. And so he's here. He's been filming some background B-roll for us and stuff like that. So I just want to give him an opportunity to share who he is and what he's up to in life and see how we can build this relationship. So I know you said you're into music, so let's start with introducing yourself. How's that?
How's it going? First off, thanks to Sports Collective Media and Morris Studios.
Cool deal.
I'm DJ Luss. I'm an online editor for the Hype magazine. Content creator for Canon Entertainment as well. And some of the red carpet events that I've covered last year for the Hype magazine, one of them was the Contender, and it was held at the Forum of Inglewood. Mm-hmm. And I'm friends with the guy who became champ, Brandon Adams, the Cannon, and he also trained my son during the summer, boxing and stuff. So it was just great to see him win. And be backstage and in the media box, and, and in the press room and everything like that. So that was a cool event. Another event that I covered was Angel City Sports holiday party, and they celebrated the year in adaptive sports. And so
how did you get involved in the media, man? What was that spark for you?
Well, I've just been grinding for years, maybe 10 years, behind the scenes of the music business.
Yeah,
I attended the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, and
so you got the education, you got the background.
Yeah, definitely. So these are just connections and people that I've had the honor to meet myself and prove myself that I'm trustworthy and honest and reliable.
Cali sportsmen say you always got to have relationships.
Yeah, what's that?
What kind of music do you cover?
I do mostly with hip hop, but I'm open for different genres.
Cool,
to work with them and stuff like that.
And I brought him up here. I'll let him, not let him, but he's here because he's from overseas. And when I met him at LA Talk Live, the other station, he was into music and things like that. So I figured you guys would definitely hit it off because, again, we want to build out the music segment in our sports show because it's all tied together. I mean, it all goes together.
Yeah.
Cali Sports.
Music, hip-hop, sports.
All of it.
How many ballers right now that's trying to be a rapper on, or they got 8 bars or 16.
Shaq Fu.
You vocalize or produce?
No. So when I lived back home in Switzerland, I used to work at a hip hop radio station, and I covered hip hop back home in Switzerland because what you have is, I listened to kind of 90s golden age back in the day, kind of hip hop, and because over here in America, over here in America, the new generation kind of hip hop is definitely taking over and getting way more popular, mainstream. So what you have is a lot of these old school artists from back in the day, like a Coolio, a Tone Loc. Some of the best music out there still. They get paid, or they earn most of their bread. A lot of them going overseas and doing shows. So I felt like I was able to fill in a little bit of a niche by being one of the only American music journalists out in Switzerland talking to these artists. So I felt like I was able to not only get in touch with them easier, but also just build a better connection in interviews and stuff like that. So I did that for a while, and then I came out to America and I realized, my kind of hip hop is really not what's popping here anymore.
Yeah, nah.
I've done a lot of street team promotion for mainstream artists, all up and down the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
And so I'm surprised I'm not promoting this,
this is what here?
This spring jam right here. But it sounds dope. I might go check it out.
Oh, absolutely. No, this is a great event.
You want to get you're right here next to the Sakes have it all. So if you want to get on the production team and come on down, we'll get you a media kit so you can roam around and do your thing.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Ask Elliot.
That's right.
Yeah. So if we got another minute.
Yeah.
Got just related to sports because I cover a lot of stuff in music. But another event that I covered was Smash Global 8, where Dolph Lundgren, Shane Mosley, and Lou Ferrigno, also Mickey Rourke, they received Lifetime Achievement Awards, and that was just an awesome event because it was a UFC going on in the middle of a big gala and dinner. Yeah. That was last year. It was pretty active, so. Excited to see what this year brings. Shout out to the Hype magazine. We'll be at the Grammys this year.
So how is it working for the magazine, man?
It's fun, because you get to interact with celebrities, and I like what I do, for the videography and editor on the online site. And, it's pretty much like living your dreams,
So absolutely.
I like what I do.
I felt like whenever I got my first press pass doing the radio thing, I was like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory getting the ticket to go in and stuff like that. So once you're able to establish those connections and go through really the entertainment industry, getting media accreditation and going to events like that, it's one of the greatest.
Definitely, building your resume, and letting people know that you're trustworthy and being around celebrities and you don't fan out and just that's the main thing right there.
Exactly. Absolutely. Been through some interesting moments there because it's all
some artists that you really like or events that you went to and you was like, wow, man, I'm standing right next to.
I've been doing
Beyonce
that. It's been happening for years. I'm sure at these Grammys coming up, I'm going to see some of those artists from these days, but from getting because before I worked with a media outlet, I'd find my own way into events, and I've been everywhere from hanging out with Chief Keef and Dipset and just most of the artists that I grew up listening to, and at this point I'm not starstruck, but it's
all business now. Yeah.
It's an honor to live my dreams. I've always wanted to work in entertainment.
Yeah, cool deal. What's up, man? We want to thank you, man. I appreciate you for coming out, bringing your cameras, man, and letting us get to see what you do, and of course. You're welcome here to be a part of us, man, and find a way.
Looking forward to building a relationship.
We definitely want that music scene because my man here, I got some music show ideas. He's got some ideas. Fredo from the Fredo Show. We all got some music. Cali Sportsman putting together these concerts and working with these concerts, man. So that's definitely a connection to sports that we want to be able to capture as we build our own way in this sports network, man. So thank you for your time.
Looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up, man. We appreciate Luwop. X's and O's, Don, man, thank you for coming out. P for E. You got a game tonight, Don?
Yes, sir. We got 4 tonight.
4 tonight. Make sure you.
We play at 9:30. Make
sure you go to his social media and check him out if you want, especially if you want to be a baller. All All right. Anything for you?
No, so just, March 8th, Eventbrite. Check it out. Google it. There's, the old school spring jam. Of course, Tone Loc, Coolio. Ready for the World featuring Melvin, yada, yada, yadas. And just Google it. And then on Eventbrite, get your tickets or inbox me, askilliard.com.
All right, we out of here. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Shout us out. What's the count?
Puts it in.